Hey. We're actually early this time, so if I continue to oscillate between on time, late, and early, you'll never know when, and that's to everyone's benefit. So yeah, let's go ahead and get to this preamble, which is a double dip this time. I'm behind on them. Things just get in the way. You wind up not being able to watch things back and comb through for minor mistakes that no one but you cares about. First, expanded thoughts. I had mentioned in the last Dead Space stream that I didn't really understand the appeal of, like, new Star Trek. It's a small thing, I know, and something that everyone and their mother had an opinion about, like, a year and change ago, so I'm late and also extremely irrelevant. But the reason that I don't get the appeal is that it still comes across as being for nobody. Like, it's not for action movie people, or even action TV people, because some of the concepts that they throw around are a little bit too goofy, old sci-fi-ish, I would think, for an audience like that. And it's certainly not for hard science fiction fans, because, yeah, that ain't there either. What we wind up with, and I still blame the glut of Marvel movies for this phenomena, is that, like, there's this bunch of photogenic but irritating jackasses quipping about math existing alongside spectacles that are nice to look at. Like, the effects team is good at what they do. The ships look cool. The little laser blasts and stuff, yeah. It tracks visually. But it lacks context or weight, because, kind of like Dead Space, I don't like or care about anyone present. And the people who made the actual narrative part of the fiction that we're looking at don't seem to want to learn a single thing about the science they're professing to love, or at least that they have their characters profess to love. I find just about every last one of the characters terrible, and not terrible in interesting ways. They're just kind of dumb, aimless, violent joke machines. That look fine posing or in a pan around shot to go, ooh, yeah, that artist did a good job on that. But they forget to do stuff that makes sense. They also seem to forget to have consistent personalities, or bother applying real math and science to a problem without just making shit like time crystals up. Or the whole fucking, like, mycelial network thing. Like, shut the fuck up. Extra dimensional fungus is what you've got? Go away. An immediate example that comes to mind, aside from the crystals and the space shrooms, is that, like, a chief antagonist for a little while was a nanite swarm, and this, it sounds scary. It should be a problem for our spacefaring heroes if, only they lived in a civilization that regularly utilized directed energy weapons and realized that microwaves and digital elements of any kind, including those in nanomachines, don't mix. Couple that with, say, like, an array capable of generating a super wide spectrum of EM radiation, some sort of dish that deflects things. Oh, hey, dude. I can actually see chat while I'm sitting here in the preamble, so yeah, nice. Listen away while you exercise. Where was I? Oh, right. Deflector dishes. They generate a super wide spectrum of EM radiation, so, you could solve this issue of nanites and shit remotely without any kind of personal risk. You just bombard it with microwaves, man, and it fucking falls apart. We did it. But nah, I think they solved that with a singular magnet and the dumbest time travel mechanism to date, in that it's an Iron Man suit with wings on it. And this all seemed to be built up so that one of their actors could look at something that vaguely resembles ferrofluid on the floor and say, yum yum. Like this is supposed to be a triumphant moment or meaningful in any way, and I don't fucking agree. More on that as it comes together in my head. Relevant to the current playthrough, though, I don't know what it is about Lost Planet 2, but it doesn't like being streamed. it's not like it's a demanding game, so I'm not sure what the frame drops are about. While I'm playing, I get no lags or hitches. The capture just kind of fucking chokes sometimes. Still trying to isolate what that is. It might just be OBS. It might be that this game is old and bizarre. Who knows? I think I also mentioned repelling projectiles when talking about sloped armor. I meant refracting. You know how I am about specificity. I think that's that. So, yeah, some games are a pain to capture. Absolutely. Yeah, they're fucking. This is one of them. The first playthrough of the first chapter is just like it's a fucking hassle. Pi, of course, still co-hosting. We'll get sound. We'll get maybe video capture. We'll see. It ought to. Yeah, look at that. Okay. So, this is about where we left off. Episode 4, Chapter 5. Our difficulty's normal, our friendly fires on blowback, you know the deal. In we go. Our temp got a new hat. We're beginning our mission. Oh, thank you, the witch just relayed to me, chat, because now I'm in the thing. But yeah, I'm glad you like the transition effect. It's literally just a fractal wipe that I softened the edges on. So now we're in a Nevik facility because it's a Capcom game, and of course we are. You have to go to the lab. I told everyone that we had a new hat. It's a new hat. She wanted to know why it is that we're not commenting on the character look. I don't know why it is you have to make this weird. Okay, and? She's complaining that there's horns now. Like, oh, well, suddenly you grew horns and you're not going to fucking talk about it. Listen. It's 2020, alright? Broaden your horizons. So it looks like their face has been replaced with darkness. Alright, we're in here. We're going through Nevik's facility where it's the AK laboratory. I'm going to assume that they mean Acrids and not, you know, the extremely popular and successful Kalashnikov platform. There's not much you can take that to the lab about. Pi insists that it's probably the rifle. I just don't think it is, dude. And we're making our way through here. Since again it is a Capcom game, we are going to see bugs and tubes. We're still working for Commander Joe. We are Joe Squad 1. I made some changes to our loadouts in the meantime. The revolver was just not doing it for me, so we've got the shotgun back. I agree, dude. You know, it's kind of a shame that the revolver is in the same category as this. It doesn't seem to make sense, but it's just what they did. It is. It's what they did. I can't stop them. I'm so glad. So the witches relayed to me the comment about because it's a Capcom game, there will be no Darkstalkers. Yeah, that's a series that they really kind of fucking did dirty, huh? I really enjoyed Darkstalkers. I thought that, you know, sort of classic monsters slapping each other was a solid setup for a fighting game. And a lot of the move sets that they that they assigned these characters were interesting and fun to fuck around with. It was when they were imaginative, you know? And that's gone away. That's never going to happen again. The only thing anyone remembers about Darkstalkers is that there was a cat lady and also a bat lady, and that's it. That's all. The witch remembers the werewolf. Yes, John Tailbane. Him and Felicia played similarly. Tailbane was a little bit more measured. Felicia was a little bit more combo focused. Played them both. Honestly, I whipped through that entire roster several times. He does. Pi, of course, spent no time on that. Jumped directly to Marvel vs. Capcom and then Marvel vs. Capcom 2. Both solid games in their own right. Definitely got bigger showpieces in EVO than I think any Darkstalkers ever did. But that's his focus. He loves esports. Oh, yes, please. KTE's bid on Felicia being a favorite and mostly having played her in other games. Yeah, she had more staying power, it seems, than basically anybody else on the cast. I may have just killed the team. We'll find out. Oh, no, just myself. That's got a very wide area of effect when you shoot it. That's good to know. We have a new grenade. It's the incendiary grenade. Anyway, yeah, her and Morrigan had more staying power because, I don't know, game developers have decided to be horny on main, basically the entirety of their lives. So, while I'm happy to see the character, I'm not happy why I'm seeing the character, you know? Yes, please. On being surprised that they brought her back being, you know, mostly naked. I'm not. The thing with Felicia is that you can, if you're a weird kind of broke-brained idiot person, you can explain that away with, like, oh, but, you know, she's not really human and blah, 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 and that makes everything okay, but Rainbow Mika is a human being, and we can't do that. It's a bizarre way of, like, attempting to fucking have your cake and eat it, too, basically. I'm fine with Rainbow Mika doing her whole fucking thing. Like, that's her shtick. She's a professional wrestler. And frankly, anyone complaining about it, I wonder if they've seen professional wrestling ever in their lives. I don't know. It seems like a lot of hemming and hawing over nothing to me. Oh, we got more? Yes, please. Would have wanted to experience Darkstalkers through its actual games. I'm sure that there are emulators around, but the last time that I was aware of like a Darkstalkers release, or rather re-release, was like on the fucking PSP while I was still in high school. So yeah, you're gonna have trouble like finding any kind of legitimate copies of 1, 2, or 3. Which again is a shame. I really liked the direction they were going when they got to 3. Don't know. Tower... I don't think I played Tower of Chaos. I'm not entirely sure which one that was. Doesn't even sound familiar. Gotcha. Tower of Chaos on the PSP. Yeah, no, I just had Darkstalkers 3 on there. Yeah, but then again, I may also have fucking, like, because I did shit with my PSP, so God knows. I may have played it and then just wiped it from memory. But yeah, 1, 2, and 3, I'd say solid games. It's unfortunate that your PS3 isn't with you, but, you know, you'll recover it eventually, or maybe not. Maybe you'll just get bored one day and fucking emulate it on your PC. Oh, the Chaos Tower. That doesn't really help. I'm still sitting here going like, sure, that was what it was. Disc grenades, armor. Don't really need that. Oh, there we go. We need to switch over here, and then I'll set the entire hallway on fire. Yeah, on emulation, yeah, definitely do that. Because, like I said, I don't think there's a way that we're gonna get legitimate copies of it anymore. Capcom's fucking weird about some of their old properties like that. You know, like this one, which they will not patch Games for Windows Live out of. Just won't happen. Oh, you're talking about Darkstalkers? Oh, okay. The witch is saying, looking back on this, she thinks she would enjoy it more now. And yeah, it's got a sort of quaintness to it, and the appeal of just hopping in and doing shit with friends is, you know, always strong. Yeah, you very much can. She's saying that you can see the influence that it kind of took from Monster Hunter, and yeah, that's a fucking fact. Or rather, that it gave to Monster Hunter, modern Monster Hunter. Open. That's what I want. That's always what I want. Okay. We're gonna go make that real shitty hallway our business. This is a modified Bleed VS. It doesn't have the ability to swing its arms because they took those off, but they put 2 weapon spots on it instead. And I liked that the VSs themselves had these fucking, like, variants and modifications and shit. You know, like an actual machine would if you were to leave it alone for people to fuck with and modify for their own ends. We may be Capcom locked. There we go. We got him. Oh, we got a new hat. That's it. For the question about the horns. It's fine. Don't worry about it. You unlock parts by leveling up, and this is just a new hat.
Initializing. Ready.
It has nothing to do with, you know, the game being overexposed to my influence and just kind of reflecting my hand in it. It's fine. Thank you. See, this all you have to say is nice hat.
Initializing. Ready.
Alright, our data posts are online. We still haven't gone to our actual objective because I've been fucking around in circles. But that's how these sorts of things tend to go. Oh, it's an elevator. That'd be why. The Acrid VS thing, like where they put basically a cockpit on an Acrid and go, I'm gonna drive this around. They don't seem to be very good, do they? They seem to be sort of shitty. Like a normal VS seems fine. Maybe it's to get around manufacturing issues. What do you guys think? Nothing. They don't think anything. One more time with that one? Oh, I see. She's claiming I'm possessed by demons, as if I'm not the possessing force. Getting Onimusha more than Darkstalkers. Well, I mean, there's plenty of possession in fucking Darkstalkers. But I mean, which Onimusha? Are we talking the original one, which was pretty good, or are we talking some of the other ones, which were kind of a mistake? Just reaching here, man. You and me both. Don't sweat it. Ah, smart choice. Saying that you go for the original Onimusha. I agree. I don't know that it's a game that ever needed sequels, but it came out along those terrible dark days when absolutely everything was starting to get a franchise. And I played the shit out of the first Onimusha. Absolutely enjoyed it. Tried 2, couldn't give a fuck. And then I think 3 may have been where they decided that Jean Reno should be in this. And don't get me wrong, I'm happy to see Jean Reno, but it did not need to happen this way. Now the witch is just yelling Jubei. Ah, I see. Okay, so she's reading more bits on chat. Dawn of Dreams surprised you and you ended up liking it. Well, I'm glad it surprised you. I just wasn't interested at the time. Like, I saw that they did it and went, okay, and then I forget what the fuck else I was playing. But it was probably something that God, what was around that time? I used to pick up basically any old shit and plug it in and just kind of see what the fuck happened. So, like, I'm one of those people that played fucking Okage. If I'm even pronouncing that right. The subtitle was The Shadow King. And nobody played that fucking game. Nobody. Likewise with, like, fucking Vanguard Bandits. God.
Initializing. Ready.
Oh, gotcha. Yeah, picked it up wanting to see more of the series, and it was on the cheap. That's a solid way to do it. If shit's on discount, then it's fair game. It doesn't much matter what it is if the price is right. So we're in this underwater level now, and, well, there's all sorts of jets and stuff, and it's sort of another playground, which I appreciate, but it's also the arena for another boss fight, which is kind of a lame boss fight. It'll show up in a moment or two. We gotta keep doing this in the meantime.
Initializing. Ready.
And of course, you know, by now, we kind of know how the game goes. It's Lost Planet. You pick up your bits, you go ahead and you do this, that, and the other thing. You're always shooting somebody, be it other snow pirates, unfortunately sometimes jungle pirates, heavy quotes, and usually it's Nevik. But yeah, you know, I think we're at like one of their underwater bases to try to steal a rocket to go to space, because Commander Joe said go to space. Oh, yes, please.
Visualizing. Ready.
The story of Lost Planet 2. Okay, so, you gotta ask what the story of this game is and, like, what the fuck is going on. Don't worry, it's not that you're tuning in at the wrong times, it's that it's actually told in this super fragmented way. So, the gist of it is that this is the world sometime after Wayne. He would still be alive in body, but of course we know Wayne was erased, his brain went bad. So we have to restart Wayne. We are someone the fuck else. Nevik has largely pulled back on like a whole lot of their more grand things, and they're a little bit scattered and fragmented. They've got some new people on the ground to kind of come and further the company interest. Oh, there we go. The experimental weapon. It's that. That's it. And you, as the player character, take control of several people over several largely disparate and non-connected adventures. And I'm saying that again not to be hyperbolic. That's really the case. You don't actually fucking have a through line. Like, the dudes you play at the beginning don't really play into the end. There is maybe one faction. No, there's two. That means anything. And those are the Waysiders, the guy that stole the great big fucking train, and these guys that we're hanging out with right now. The ex-Nevik operatives working under what we assume to be, because they don't ever tell us straight up, but what we assume to be Commander Joe. So every chapter, I'm sorry, not chapter, episode, because the episodes are broken into chapters. But every episode, you play as someone else from one of the factions that you are hanging out with. And to add further confusion, once you've done a single playthrough of the campaign, you can then play your custom character, which can be from any of these factions. So that's why we've always been this guy, but this guy's voice changes, because they're supposed to be someone else. Yeah, pretty much. It is basically the year 1 AW, and we have to shoot corporations as a concept. We still don't really know what it is Nevik wants to do. Like, I don't think their planet breaker machine works anymore. I'm pretty sure Joe took care of that. He seems like a reliable guy. But, you know, here we are anyway. They're doing something. Something with Acrid? Maybe? But what their ultimate goal happens to be is beyond me. Like, if it's to make the planet habitable, well, it's already baseline habitable. There are people that live here and flourish. Like, you know, we kind of know what life looks like on EDN 3. You shoot bugs, you get the orange sauce, and you hope that Wayne doesn't come back, because that would be a disaster. Sometimes they make a big dumb submarine that you have to shoot, you know, you and your buds. It's fine and normal. But yeah, so, you know, Nevik's still doing question mark, and we're trying to stop them from doing it just on principle. Maybe out of just straight up contrarianism. Whatever it is that they want, we don't want them to have it. And as you can see, this boss fight has problems in that it kind of just circles, and it circles faster than you can move, so there's no chasing it. You just wait for it to come around again, and then you hit it with stuff. And it does that. Those Seek, you can shoot them down, but a lot of the times, by the time that you're seeing them, it's probably a little bit too late. No, we've broken something. This thing also counts in the game's lexicon as a VS. I don't see how... I don't know where the suit part is for this vital suit. Because remember, that's what VS stands for. And we'll take a few of those. Sometimes, yeah, it'll just kind of punt you off the side. Nothing to be done for it. Alright. We pick up our bits, we dust ourselves off as well as we can. And you know, we're just back to it. Up. But yeah, great big level. Great big set piece. Kind of cool to look at. Shame it gets used for this. We're in like this enormous sea lab that houses, again, a rocket, because Commander Joe told us to go to space. And it would seem to me that it might be cooler to run like, say, a startup sequence while you're fighting off security. Like, someone's got to go and get the fuel line, and someone has to make sure the tanks are actually charged, and someone's got to start the computer calculating and maybe has to defend that for a little bit while other shit gets sorted out outside. You could make a level out of this, it's just that they made this instead. Yeah, it is hard to tell that it's underwater. He also mentioned that a respawn counter in a single-player game is weird to see. Yeah. Oh, it looks like we've got it. And it's gonna spew boxes all over the place. They still do this in Monster Hunter. So I guess I'm just kind of used to it for some Capcom games. I wish they would do something different, because it's not really fair to a whole lot of people. Like, especially if you're new to the campaign here, or you're not familiar with these kinds of mechanics, or you're not really taking it all that seriously, and, you know, for whatever reason the controls don't click with you. You know, I bought the game. You don't have to try to milk me for quarters. It's one of those things that I think is maybe just a habit that isn't terribly well examined among developers, that they'll go, well, of course you need a failure state, you need a set number of retries before it has to kick you back to some sort of save, right? And it's like, you don't, though. That's not necessary for your game's success or for the player to be happy. It's not a consequence. I mean, you've already lost the time, right? Add to that, this has like a double penalty where you lose your thermal energy reserves, drop your equipment, plus you get a tick off the retry counter. And I think one penalty is enough. If you lose your reserves and drop your weapons and have to recover your weapons, oh, okay, sure. There it is. Seems like it would burn fuel to launch a rocket from underwater then into space. Like, that's 2 medium transfers. I don't...
Picking up the signal.
I don't get Nevik in general. Commander Joe approves. The small nod was all we needed.
I can't believe that went so smoothly.
Yeah, me neither.
That spark does as well. Come, still have much to do.
They still have much to do. We have to take a break from the plot now in order to go do something else. So, you know, we'll call this a flashback to another job our temp here took. Before signing up to go to space with Commander Joe. ABBA, we are the Dancing Queen. I am feeling the beat of the tambourine. Next episode. I don't know how loud their tambourine would be turned up for you to feel the beat of it. Tambourine's not a loud instrument. Yeah, like, yeah. So here we have the treasure barachos, and I know I'm supposed to roll that R, but my accent for Spanish is terrible. So I'm not going to. This is, again, one of those things where I go, Capcom, don't. They did it.
There it is. Are we ready? Are we moving in? No, not yet.
It should pass us soon. I can't believe it's been 2 months since our last mission.
And only 1 day away from retirement.
No, not yet. No.
We're bringing in Neos on this one. The scale of this mission is bigger than you can imagine.
Watch this. Hey, incoming! There is nothing here.
Yeah.
All the way out here. They were spending all of their time looking at this.
Yeah.
What were they after?
This is the comedy chapter. Are you laughing? To chat, Desert Cholos. Yeah, I don't know why they did this. Also, I would like to note that they are lumped in with the Jungle Pirates. Yeah, we're gonna go steal this hovercraft that we just discovered because that's how these guys operate. Oh no, Capcom. Oh no.
Everybody, go after them.
Anyway, they're lumped in with the, quote, Jungle Pirates as fight junkies. And, boy, it kind of leans into what we're talking about earlier, is that Rainbow Mika slapping her own butt cheek, signaling her professional wrestling finisher is coming up. That's too much. This don't catch no heat, though, huh? Also, what suspension system? Doesn't have wheels. Are you talking about the hover system? The fucking... the jets that keep it afloat? Well, those guys are fucking dead.
It's not your fault.
I know that. Yeah.
What were they thinking? And now we're down 4 VSs. What's wrong with you two? We just lost good men.
I didn't fucking do it.
So, hey, you guys still reading me? Yeah, we freaking hear you all right. You two make me sick. Well, we know it's no use attacking the hull. We need to get inside. No, he says to get inside. Let's do this. All right, get ready.
Yikes. Quite literally on hover bikes. Off we go. This, according to the game, is also a VS.
Take it from the inside. Moving closer.
Again, not to say that you can't depict any kind of race, color, or creed. Sure, go for it. But come on, man. Just hire some Spanish-speaking people, so that we don't really, you know, do this. Anyway, we're being told that one of them is going in from the left. I have to clear this turret resistance.
You guys just stay out here and clean up the mess. I'm going to be the first one on that ship. Hey, no fair.
There we go. Boarding this thing is somewhat of a pain in the ass. There's very little in the way of like good angles to approach it. It's pretty well defended. Again, a cool set piece, but if you were thinking that maybe this would be something later, you're wrong, and you should stop thinking things like that. After we capture this thing, it's pretty much the last time we see it. It shows up briefly in some of the ending cinematics, and then out of memory. It does not even contribute to the last fight of the game, where every other faction does have some sort of way of chipping in. Even if it's just you see members of their group as foot soldiers on the ground. Not these guys. One scene where they like cheer, and that's it. So they went through all this trouble of like showcasing them in a less than favorable light. You know, they're supposed to be comedy relief. They are quite literally jokes, and the joke is, aren't they funny and kind of dumb? Listen to how they sound. They're different. And that by itself is unfortunate, but then they're not even included when the game decides to get any kind of serious. Which just seems unnecessarily cruel. I don't... Again, I don't think Capcom means it that way. I think they're guilty of being clueless, not malicious. But they're clueless in some very unfortunate ways, looking at it from 2020. Well, we have opposition from behind. That's okay. We have the cure for that. That'll work too. Do you actually get him? Yeah, he actually got him. Alright, now we just have to open the other half of this door. And that'll complete part 1. We did it. We got a medal for being super fast, and it is Fiesta time. It's Fiesta time. They didn't even keep the like, team cheer thing as just team cheer. They went out of their way to call it Fiesta time. And I'll catch up on chat messages in just a little bit. Pie, bud. I know. It was considered harmless for the time, if a little bit in bad taste, but it just hasn't aged well. He's from the Midwest, you have to understand. He's big on the get woke, go broke thing. He's very anti-PC. But he's also 6. So, can you blame him? He's 6. Oh, yes, please. Hit me. Oh, yeah, go ahead, please.
Or something in there. Find it already. Yeah. Yeah.
Oof. A Japanese man attempting to speak Spanish on Dawn of Dreams. Yar. I'm sure that's... Because I know for a fact that I butcher things with my fucking Northeasterner accent. So I can't imagine the linguistic fuckery present there.
Pull on every lever. That should do something.
Place the bar very low so the expectations fluctuate. Well, good. Yeah, please don't don't count on me or this broadcast for much at all. What else have we got out here? I believe... Okay, so we're going up there. We're looking to take control of this thing. Hop. That's an interesting noise from the hallway, wasn't it? Just heard what I believe was someone attempting to clear their throat. Or gagging, whichever. It's the rhythm of the night, you know? Oh, that sucks in there. Alright. So yeah, they've got a VS shotgun kind of trained on the door. And my boy here is definitely going to try to get in my way. Because it's what he does, it's what he's good at. So I'm going to set the room on fire. This is my go-to strategy in a lot of games. At least games that allow for it. You'd think Dead Space would have, but it didn't. The flamethrower was really, really bad. It doesn't get better going forward. I don't know if it's even included in 3. In this game, it's okay. It's still not something that I would prefer to use, like, outside of just the normal shotgun. Mean trick. But I'm quicker on the draw. Hey, I saw you move. Ow. Alright. He said no. That's fine. Back up we go. I believe for this stage they kind of remove the battle gauges, so they are serious about you making the most out of your respawns. No way to replenish or stack, a couple extra. And I'm not sure why they picked now to do that. And like doubly so this stage. It seems like a weird choice. Oh well. I tried to skip pieces. It didn't work out. And we can see we're being followed by just a flock of those flying acrid. They'll be a thing in a moment or two. I would like my stuff back. It's also weirdly quiet up here, isn't it? It'd be kind of a peaceful place if, you know, the game was anything about scenery, but I don't know what it is about Capcom games in wild spaces. They don't seem to really want to let you explore them. There's no wilderness to speak of in any of these things. Oh, I guess I was wrong. I guess there is a fucking battle post just like right up here. It may be inactive. That might be what I'm thinking of. It doesn't look like it is. Alright. Upsies. Oh, I got him. No, I want that thermal energy. We could use some extra. That was close. Alright. A little bit of extra. What do we say? I know, Pi. He's a big fan of limited respawns. He's a proponent of the notion that you should punish the player But I don't know that games are necessarily for that. It's fine to have a challenge. Like I said, something can be difficult, but punishment, I don't know. That implies that you've broken some sort of rule or pact or done something you're not supposed to. And if I'm not supposed to struggle, then why did you make it that way? There's nothing that requires punishment. Do we play Zone of the Enders-ish at the end? No, we do not. That does not happen. That was a one-time thing. That was a Wayne time thing. And we are not Wayne. We wouldn't be able to handle that kind of machine, you see. That VS was impressive. Everyone said so. Yeah, they told me it was impressive. They didn't tell me how, but it was impressive. Alright, it's a take and hold. But both of these spots are very far apart, so we may have to restart these things several times. That's just how it goes. Got him. I believe that's going to mean that they're spawning over there. Yeah. Okay. Well, we'll make our way over. We'll see what we can do. Or they're spawning in over here again. The counter's gone. Okay, so we'll have to retake this post here and then probably run back and retake this one as well. Again, a fine idea if you have friends, not so much in a single-player campaign where the NPCs are no good. Because at least when it's your friends that fuck up this way, you can yell at them. I could scream my lungs out at these NPCs. They wouldn't notice or care. Anyway, I shot him in the dick until he died. It's not rude. It's completely appropriate, and in fact, it's a compliment. Yeah. The witch is doubting my compliments, and I mean, if she's going to sit there and say that I'm not the master of social graces, I don't know what it is that she's been paying attention to all these years. Alright, now the music's back, huh? Yeah, that sucks too. Bye. Yeah, no, bye. Bye again. Alright. You can't hide in the basement and do this. Dickhead. Okay. There we are. We still have to go back and deal with this other one. Ugh. As far as her denying the compliments until she doesn't, I mean, yeah, basically. Eventually she'll understand that what I'm doing is not rude. It's, in fact, very nice. I have a lot of respect for these people. And that's why I bombard them with plasma cannons. And shoot them in the dick until they die. Yes, correct. You gotta open your mind to different cultures. Okay, let's see. Nope, looks like they already reset it. This is gonna be a fun loop to break. So, like, we're gonna do this in an attempt to kind of bolster that guy. We'll see if this works out at any point in time. There we go. We're getting closer. Okay, sure. And sometimes the thing just kind of gets wacky. Where you're pretty sure you should be able to grappling hook onto something, but Don't touch my stuff. We've done it again. The witch was just singing "Don't Touch Me" to the tune of "Can't Touch This," and she has told me that she is hilarious. I agree. It's pretty good. So yeah, take and hold map with NPCs that kind of don't work is frustrating sometimes. You get that loop where they're just spawning wherever it is you aren't. And there's not much to be done about it outside of just play musical chairs with them. You'll see when the NPCs are there, sometimes they won't even do anything. A little slow. Well, you know? When life gives you lemons, right? Anyway, we've done it. We got an A, despite being, quote, a little slow. Still sass, still full of it. On to the next. We are still with the treasure barachos for a moment or two. And they've taken my guns. I'm not sure why. Our job is to clear out the ship. These guys seem way into it. And now the music is very dramatic. Even if what we're doing is comparatively not. There's some stuff in there that I would like, but I don't know if they're gonna let me get it right now. Oh, there we go. No. How about that shit, huh? They've got reinforcements, which means we're probably going to have to man this turret back here and shoot them down. There we go. Is that gonna let me pick it up? No, of course not. Alright. I'll make do real quick. Attach this, please. Thank you. We got there eventually. Alright. We've apparently cleared out some of them in order to get something. And there we are. Now we have our turret properly set up. At least for a little bit. We'll have to change these out because there's of course not quite enough ammunition in them to finish the entirety of the encounter. But I think these rail shooter segments are a huge mistake. I don't think they play to the series' strengths. You know, you can do this, but what about all the movement? There we go. And we want those ones that are carrying guys first so that they dump their guy payload in the sand. The unfortunate part of that is that if you do the sort of strategically sound thing and don't let them board to begin with, you lose out on a lot of thermal energy, which doesn't wind up being the worst thing in the world, but it's still like, come on guys, what the hell? You shouldn't be telling me that I would technically make more of the resources necessary to play the game if I would play it like an idiot. Like the most reasonable and strategically sound thing you can do should be the thing that yields the most, because you want to reward smart play. Or at least you would think you do. He stopped just short of my bolt. And that one just kind of dove under it. Didn't even care. There we are. And over we go. Sure. Give me this, because it's mine anyway.
The advance team will open up the rear hatch and let the rest of our troops in.
I mean, that's assuming they get here, man. Well, they dropped in a VS behind me. Mid-reload, too. First, we've done it. Oh, the rocket launcher? Yeah. That's the VS rocket launcher. Sometimes, yeah, I can get my hands on a VS weapon that's good enough to fire on its own. The rocket launcher puts out enough damage to at least pound a shot sometimes. We got an S. But otherwise, you know, you can wield any VS weapon with just your hands, if you want to. See?
Hey, the cannon's ready for use.
Unintentionally relaxing? Yeah, kinda. As far as that section is concerned. There's not much going on, you just kind of knock the things down as they come. We're charging up here because we have to work that big old cannon. There's a way in co-op to supercharge its blasts, but I haven't found a way to do it in single player. You have to shoot the muzzle with your thermal energy charge in order to overcharge it. And, you know, I can't be in two places at once. There goes that, well, piece of the flock that had been following us. They want this. But we gotta use it right quick.
Initializing.
This again counts as a VS. We can damage our own vessel with it, so we're gonna try to be careful.
We've got something big. Use it, Kachi. Get it quickly.
And we have this. So the cannon takes a moment or two to wind up into firing mode. We can shoot it in the spider nipples. We want the legs.
Looks like we can charge this thing through the muzzle with thermal energy. Anyone want to try shooting it?
There we go. That's one leg. That's two. We're getting there. on appreciating wind up and charge for weapons if they're worth the discharge. Yeah, like it's fine that it takes it a moment or two. It's a fair amount of fuss for what I would consider not terribly much payoff. I'm working on it. Don't be an asshole about this. And now this is the last piece of the fight. We just burn it in the face until it lets go. Well, until it dies, really. Okay, goodbye. We also can't exit it while it's firing, so when it says, hey, get those boxes that are, of course, time limited, it's saying that mostly as a joke if you're in single player. Because it'll put them in place. Yeah, there you go. Why would we do that? Why wouldn't we just, like... Okay. That seems crazy. Apparently the back of the ship can just be released, and that's what we did. That's nuts. You wouldn't just try to dislodge it somehow, maybe break some of the plating that was holding it, that had, like, wedged. Turn the hovercraft to sort of shake it, drag it in a different direction, go over a bump that it's going to drag and snag against. Still sassy. We got $1. It's worth 800. Okay. We're back. They've taken my shit again. Same ship.
Seize that vessel before it escapes. Prepare to launch attack.
Oh, you hear that? They're back for more already. Don't these guys ever get tired of losing?
And these fools have ejected the primary charge station, that nice dual charge station that we had. Would have juiced us up real good and real quick, but no, we had to just kick the back of this thing off, and I don't know. Okay. So, Nevik also has more than one of these things. It's not exactly a super weapon like the railway gun was, but it's still interesting that they're building this shit, and I also don't super know why they're building it. Yeah, they want us to shoot the wings off. Yeah, I get it, man. And that's all we have to do. You would figure right now they would just slam on the brakes and stop us fucking dead. But no. And yeah, the only thing that's a real threat to us is their main gun. So we wait till it does that, and then we shoot it right in the kind of glow orb. Then we go back to what we were doing, shooting the wings off for our good boy points. You would figure because they start their charge first, they would hit us, but they never seem to. It's, I think, some unnecessary coddling on the part of the developers for the player. It's fine if they just get the draw first, but then, you know, you want your answer to be something that the player has done to speed up the charge, not just that the player is naturally faster. Alright, I'm working on it. try to burn off this last wing as well. There we go. We got him. My man here needs to stop calling me while I'm at work. There we are. Kind of blocked the shot for the rest of it there, huh? Alright, well, I'm just gonna have to deal with that in a moment. Yeah, I know. Did you guys get that? Maybe. There's a box there, so I'm gonna assume they did. And now that they've kind of got nothing else, largely what we're doing is trading shots with these main guns. Well, my dude there is asking what I'm doing and telling me to destroy the cannon, which I'm currently destroying. I'm also not entirely sure what the use of a directed energy weapon like this would be. I don't quite get it when the railway gun exists. I don't know that it would be
Entering.
lighter necessarily. It seems overly complicated and you know, a waste of energy. You could fling a flechette that does way worse things to a structure than this beam ever would. Alright, it's another boarding. But we're not going to steal it this time. This time we are only interested in killing everyone aboard and setting a self-destruct. Yeah, our commander's name is Vagabundo. Fucking... yeah. I'm working on it. I had to grab some things. All right. And now over there we go, while hoping that they don't just take our shit in the meantime, like they can. Crab mech. Which means we'll probably have to go around the other way. Crab mech is not fun to meet at that angle. You know, because of the cannon. I may be en route to get around them. Not sure. Yeah, we're looking good. The ships aren't just laid out in, like, reasonable ways. Dick. Okay. Well, we'll fix ourselves up. We'll shoot crab mech a few more times. There we go. We got there. Cool. Cool. Alright. Now I have to mash Q. Yeah, you know what? You guys talk it out. I'm gonna take cover behind this. There we go. And now we started the countdown before they started our countdown. So as long as we just kind of stick with it and don't let them cancel it, we'll be alright. The problem, of course, is that they can kind of come from whatever angle, because the game doesn't allow for much strategy. It's largely just loadout selection. We always have a battle gauge, they do not. Here they come. Get away from my shit. I mean it. Okay, we're out of here. There they are. Thanks, Vagabundo. I really appreciate your concern. You're a solid guy. There. There again. I want this because we may need to respawn very soon. Alright. Maybe not. Who knows? Well, bound to happen eventually. Hey, good looking out, guy. I want my stuff back. Give me this. It's mine. It's on principle at this point. We are almost done with the treasure barrachos. We can then get back to the plot. We can see that they've stopped trying over there. Now it's Team Cheer. It was Fiesta time once and once alone. Now it's Team Cheer. We know the cheer. Goodbye. Goodbye, other hovercraft. Thanks for dumping all the boxes in the dirt. I didn't want those anyway. Goodbye.
This thing is amazing. And what thing would that be? They are using the underground veins of thermal energy to navigate.
Okay.
You're kidding me. You're not kidding. No, I'm not kidding. And look, the veins are getting bigger.
To provide as much support from the ground as possible, we have to stop the Overg from reaching its final form at all costs.
Thank you, Commander Joe.
As your leader, it's my opinion that we stick with this thing all the way. Who knows? You might get something good out of all this.
Oh, I'm sure we could find many uses for a machine like this.
Oye! Oye! What is it?
Outside! Look outside!
We're looking outside.
Mira! If we stay on this course, it'll take us straight.
Oh yeah, I'm supposed to be on that rocket.
There's got a lot of secret shit going on.
See, it gets really confusing if you try to play a custom character.
An overg! My friend, it's an overg! Oh yeah! Oh yeah! What do you want to do? I think it's obvious. I think it's more than obvious. Who would have something so stupid? Yes. We are going to crash that Fiesta!
They don't. They don't. They don't crash that fiesta. It's more that they show up when the party is basically over. A very unfortunate chapter. For a number of reasons. We got an A, though. I feel accomplished. Here's our boxes. Next. And the game goes, oh, okay, anyway, back to the plot. This would be the last episode.
Has exceeded our projections. I never imagined it would have an impact like this. If it reaches its final form, the increase in thermal energy usage would trigger another ice age.
So apparently the planet is chilly because Bug Big.
Satellite cannon the Nevik has created, and use its firepower to prevent the Overg Acrid from reaching its final form. The first stage of this operation is to storm the Nevik base to the north. From there, we'll use their shuttles to get to Neos.
Here we go, episode 6, Meltdown. We're in space now. And we're with Commander Joe's crew. Pardon me, pardon me. Simply to take down all targets. That's extremely dangerous to do on a like a spaceship with limited oxygen. I wouldn't recommend doing this. Okay, got him.
What's going on?
Off we go. How will we recover from this? How convenient. Thanks. Now we have a small jetpack on our coccyx. And time to pose. Use thrusters. It's exactly like swimming underwater.
Get back to the shuttle before the cargo bay closes.
There we go. We did it. We got back to the shuttle. And I believe now we can simply close the doors. Yep. Maybe one more? Yeah. We've done it. And of course the cheer. We're used to doing that alone. At this point, do we even care? Does it matter? Maybe this is just for us. A very short intro into what I think is the longest chapter in the game. Episode, chapter, whatever the fuck, at this point. If I haven't gotten it right by now, I'm not going to get it right ever. We see Nevik's space installation, which again, I didn't quite know they had. I like the look of their shuttle, again, with these very hard, sharp geometric shapes.
Docking sequence overridden.
Okay.
Docking procedures will resume upon completion of firing sequence.
And I guess they just like hid it in an asteroid, which seems like a lot of work. Like a lot of work, right? That doesn't make sense.
Controlled firing will begin in 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4.
I agree, Pi. It was something of a staple in these games, you know, of this time to just have a satellite cannon. This did, Vanquish did, fucking Champions Online did. Everyone had satellite cannons.
That's why.
Spirits Within wasn't a game, but it was a movie. And it was also bad, and it had a satellite cannon. That's not fair to Lost Planet 2. I wouldn't consider it a bad game. I would consider it a dumb game. It is not smart in what it does. Some of the decisions that the developers made were smart, you know, focusing on systems rather than narrative. But, yeah, this is all just goofiness. And we did not transmit our docking codes.
If you do not transmit your code, you'll be treated as an enemy vessel.
No, the code is Commander Joe told me to go to space.
Crew members' IDs. Stand by for verification after docking.
My crew member ID is Commander Joe's crew. So we're going to handle this like Joe would. We're going to shoot every living thing here and then take some stuff to help us actually deal with the plot.
I'm working up an analysis of the cannon's engineering. Get there as quickly as possible.
So even though I was not expecting it out of this series, you know, when Lost Planet 2 became a thing in my mind, I was not thinking, I bet they'll go all over the place. I was thinking we'd probably be fucking around further on the snow world. And we are on the same world, it just isn't snow anymore. Which is fine, but I wasn't, like, even considering the possibility of going to space. And I gotta say that aside from it being a fun backdrop and like you know, you got the low gravity jumps and all that shit, I don't know that they did a great job with space, or that it needs to be here for that matter. It's one of those times where I go, we didn't really add anything to the game by doing this. And I'm just more confused now than anything. Like, when did Nevik have this? Why was this not part of their plan? If they're able to deliver satellite cannon strikes to, like, precise coordinates, how is there a snow pirate problem? These questions and more, never answered.
System restored.
There we go. The bleed we immediately stole, which, again, seems like a bad VS for space where you can't breathe. I had taken a little bit of a pounding there. It's still bad at hovering. Like, it's still fighting its weight, even though we're in very low gravity. No, there's guys up there. Okay, well, we'll deal with that in a moment. I want to soak up some of this, and then probably pick up this. We remember the laser rifle. They still got them. They still got the EM lasers, too. Let's see if it'll let me kind of just put myself right up there. It's got several very strange angles that don't quite work out as far as maneuvering like a VS or anything similar through it. And one of the biggest things that we do here is just kind of try to get our bearings, see what's going on, what's what, who's doing which thing. Because it is a three-dimensional space, and, you know. I should also mention that it's another one of those playground maps where you can fuck around in any number of dimensions And none of them are necessarily right or wrong. Let's also try to showcase like some weapons that we won't otherwise get to. This is the EM Lance. So, you know, we can throw our grenades with that arm. The EM Lance is a fucking laser sword. It's kind of cool. Again, we're not gonna think too hard about how practical a thing like this would be, because the answer is not at all. But it's more effective than the pile bunker in a number of ways, in that you don't have to reload it and it sweeps. And for a game where you fight as many things as we do, a sweep is nice, not just a very, very narrow cone of damage. And very limited ammunition. I think the pile bunker has like 3 charges per reload. And that's per, like, weapon picked up. It's very, very, very limited. There we go.
Entering standby, releasing pilot.
Mm-hmm. And then we turn this on. These fools over here have just run off, and they're not even thinking about the cell phone posts. They're forgetting WWWD. That's what would Wayne do. Is this another one with the lance? No, it looks like it's got something else attached to it. Okay, cool. Now, before we go forward, they just kind of phased in, huh? Okay. Before we get that, which is what I'm here for, I want to see if I can show you how much damage the laser lance does. The answer is a lot. So I slapped that turret once and it's done. And this guy here is in one of the more advanced flight capable VS's. So I've now poked him, and then I slapped him twice and he's also done. His explosion did more damage to me than anything else. Same with that guy, you know, he kind of jumped on down and ate shit. That one we poked in the knee and he's also finished. Really good weapon, really only good for a VS that has, like, humanoid arms. So the bleed, I think, is about it, because I don't think anything else mounts things on their humanoid arms. Very much increases the reach of it to be, you know, somewhere with a joint. Otherwise, you know, they mount it on kind of the shoulder region, and it doesn't work out so good. Hi. They fished it out of the ocean for me.
Ready.
There we are, and somewhere around here is an EM laser. We want that. I believe it may be in one of these crates. We're gonna find out. And of course, you know, here's the good news, is that we no longer really have to think about verticality in the same way, because we can quite literally fly. So let's have ourselves just a little bit of a look around. We'll find it eventually. Yeah, we're being shot at. By something. I don't see anyone there. Okay. Sure. Sure, fine. There's also a control point here that I missed. There it is. And this may, in fact, lead us to the EM laser. Might be in that.
Entering standby, releasing pilot.
we go.
System restore.
A touch up there.
Initializing.
We'll walk our way over. We'll see if it's in that box.
Entering standby. Releasing pilot.
So I think this is one of the levels with continuity. I'm not entirely sure. That's another Lance.
Initializing. Ready.
Come on, where'd you put it? That may be it over there. 'Cause this is another chain gun. That's just a bleed. We'll have a look down that way. Hello, gifts. There we are. I had to remember the button to get to the legs mode. Found it. Oh, there's a data post there too. Don't know that I had seen that data post before. Oh, hang on.
Entering standby.
I got so caught up in EM laser that I forgot to pick up my actual rifle.
Initializing.
Okay. Alright. My bad. There we go, that's capped. Okay, good.
Entering standby. Releasing pilot.
Data post 5 is active.
Ready.
I know we all feel better for having seen that. Okay. We got that one. We're headed down here. Glad to see you guys decided to just hang out. And this is why we wanted the EM laser. This hard point here kind of sucks without it. Those turrets are both rocket launcher turrets, and that flight-capable VS that I just shot down is also mounting dual rocket launchers. It sucks. Anyway, I don't think they'll let us keep Crab Mech, so that was a lot of fuss for basically nothing. But it makes that last stretch very, very easy. Mission's complete. We're making progress. We're going to take control of this satellite thing. Basically come hell or high water. Ah! Yep. Yep.
The cannon's control area is locked down.
Okay.
Activate any data posts in engineering to open it up.
You'd think I'd be able to kind of ascend through there. Nah. Nah. There's air flowing upwards, but if I wanted to climb at all, I would have to do it this way. And those ledges are fake. You can't land on them. So our option then becomes to just go on down. Whoop, whoop, whoop. Yeah, hang the fuck on there. Ah, shit. I don't think I can actually get to that now. Oh well. We'll do without it. Something else will pop up. Would have been nice to have that plasma gun. But as we know, there will be others. Now we're inside Neos. Oh, that's a shotgun. I'm not a huge fan of those. They're fine, but And task me with finding the thermal energy charger. There it is, right down there. We found it. That is extremely wide. Nuts. Okay, well, that guy fell in a hole. He's hole man now. When we get this thing going, the center of the arena becomes an environmental hazard, which I like this stage better than the submarine one. It culminates in kind of a large brawl, which I also think works out better. And really, I think we only needed one of these kinds of stages, where you're going up and down in a very tight space, and then there's a big showpiece at the end. Overall, the kind of direction of all of these things being put together seems like rushed and haphazard. I like a lot of what they've done. There's some standout level design shit going on with a great deal of it. It's just that it's not really held together terribly well. There's not quite enough connective tissue for me to say, oh yeah, this is a, you know, one big contiguous experience, which has also made it sort of hard to level criticism at, because if it's just a collection of sort of whatever, and it's framed as a collection of sort of whatever, I find it difficult to fault it in any meaningful or useful way. You know, there's only so many ways that you can say, well, hang on, if they're doing that over there, then what are these guys doing here? And wait, that's dumb, or wait, why didn't we hear about these guys beforehand? And when it becomes apparent that the reason that you didn't hear about them beforehand is because it didn't matter, and it's not going to matter in the future, it becomes pointless to ask the question. It's again sort of like Monster Hunter in that way, where if you're saying that the story of Monster Hunter doesn't quite shake out, the answer is just like, yep, it doesn't. But it's kind of on you for showing up to, you know, like a fucking country buffet and expecting 5-star food. That's your mistake. You're asking too much. And at this point, asking for characterization or plot or even sense out of Lost Planet 2 seems like I would be asking too much. Comment in the chat about fake ledges bugging the shit out of it. Yeah. Like, just don't model it then, right? You're the one who's making things, just don't make that. It's fine. It can just be a tube. Yep. It terminated a little bit before I thought it would. That's okay. We can do this. And sort of space swim. Oh, you're not gonna... Oh, there we go. There we go. It let me eventually. This stage also features those things that we rode when we were with the treasure barachos. They help us get up and down real quick, but outside of that, they're not terribly useful. Also, again, counted as a VS. Don't see the suit part. It's definitely a hover platform. There we are. And there we are. Now that I can do whatever the fuck. You'd think we'd be cooked just by being this close. We're not. We're completely safe. It's fine. There. I don't know that this is the right call for like a focusing lens to have it 2, 4, 6 hexed. It just doesn't seem like the call. You'd figure you'd want that just as close to round as possible, like perfectly round, so that your angles of refraction are pretty much like infinite. Oh man, I didn't pay attention to the fucking seat on this thing. That does not look comfortable. Oh, that's right, 4 is up. Up we go. We've made it to the next floor. Wonders never cease. They said we couldn't do it. We started from the bottom, now we're here. We have 3 more of these particular bits to go. Okay, sure. I guess I could just abandon that. I believe I meant to hit 1 to go down, and finally, at long last, hit Q instead. Break. There we go. Okay. That's what we're aiming to get to. We are also aiming to shut these down before they become an issue, right? And just kind of nervously poke us in the back the entire time. There we go. That's 3. I also think that, like, for as cool and interesting as this stage kind of is to look at, the number of things they have me turning on and off is a little bit high. I'm not sure the value of extending things quite like this, and I'm not sure where this falls on the timeline of what developers were thinking as far as like padding things out so that people feel, quote quote, like they've gotten their money's worth from the game. I wish they hadn't, because we're definitely at the point now where I'm going, yeah boys, I get it. I know, I understand. Yeah, you gotta look out for the satellite. It causes big problems. Truly a terrifying weapon that we must put a stop to. We're being strafed. And he's coming here to make it his business. That is potentially extremely problematic. There we go. He fucked off. These guys get crab mech, I don't get crab mech. They don't love crab mech like I love crab mech. They don't appreciate it. They take it for granted. I suppose if I had had the energy gun in my loadout, I would be able to just sort of take one, but I haven't really fucked around with that in this game. Come on. Come on. There we go. They're down one. The other one shouldn't be too far behind. Oh, there's a rocket launcher over there that we can use to make this much, much faster. Yeah, I'm aware you're there. You can't shove me into the hole though. It's closed off. No, stay in there. You wanted it. Yeah. Fire, you sack of shit. Do it, I got shit to do. Come on. Commander Joe's gonna be pissed that this is taking so long. I think they got it, yeah. Okay, well, we bamboozled them. I don't know if we're gonna get credit for it now, but we did it anyway. That's 4. Okay. Come on. That is not a seat. That's just a pole you clench with your cheeks. Ah, this thing sucks. Up. Well, that's no good anymore. Of note, we also can't repair those, so they work more like the armor that you pick up and less like VSs, even though they're categorized as VSs. It's something that bugs me, and again, probably nobody else, is when games can't even get their own fucking nomenclature right. Or get it to make sense. You know, if you're trying to communicate to me, I need you to communicate to me. Not pretend that words are whatever. It's fine, it's all made up anyway. No, because then I don't know what the fuck it is you're doing, and you want me to engage with your fucking project here, right? But again, maybe that just doesn't enter into the equation. My boy's standing at the last objective, not bothering to touch it. You know how they do. They're extremely helpful. Okay, we're headed to the control room now. There we are. We've made it. The control booth is right over here. Up we go. We're completing the area very soon.
Phase 1 of irradiation complete. Commencing 1-hour cooling period.
Okay. But with what medium we're in space?
Back into the main
mainframe and upload the program from your PDAs.
Oh fuck yeah, we're hacking the mainframe.
As you can retrieve back to the surface. Yes, sir.
Warning. Security breach. Bypassing preliminary defense. Initiating level 4 action.
Damn it. The code's been changed. We're screwed. The PDA set off a security protocol. Then do something about it. All right.
Like what? Okay. He needs some breathing room to do it. We know that hacking requires an enormous amount of air. Just a huge volume of it. Can't have anyone interrupting the flow.
The cannon facility block will be discarded.
Locks are off. Here they come.
Launching escape VSs. Evacuate the facilities immediately.
Escape VSs. There they are. It's the hardball.
What is that? That, my friend, is an operational space VS with GPS integration. We should be able to use them to control and aim the cannon once we're back down on the planet.
What?
God damn it!
Now sealing cannon facility.
They're not happy about us stealing their hardballs.
Planet side. We cannot lose those VSs. Understood?
Yes, sir.
So we must use the hardballs to fight our way out, but we don't want them destroyed. For us, this isn't going to be a problem, really. The NPCs are going to fare less well. But we'll see what we can do. And let's not forget the hardball has this, which is a really, really powerful melee strike. Doesn't cost nearly as much thermal energy as it used to. We remember when we were Wayne and we were learning how to use the hardball, we turned on our saw and it just ran the battery dry in a matter of moments. Not so anymore. The witches let me know that there's about 2 minutes left in the usual recording time. So we'll see where it is that we land on this one as well. I know we've been going over a lot with Lost Planet, but it's because of the way that it's put together. Is that alright with you, darling? Okay. So we'll probably just make a sprint to the end here. Looks like our boy Cosmo is just refusing to repair his VS. That's how it goes. NPC's gonna NPC. Ow. Oh. Hang on. Yeah. No, give me this. Yes. Yes. Okay. Then I can fix this up very quickly. Won't take but a moment.
System restored.
VS Master. One of my favorite traits. Oh, there's Kevin. And here we encounter part 1 of the boss. Did you know that these two can combine? Crab Mech and Nevik flight capable VS? They can. You can do that when you find a Crab Mech and a flight capable Nevik VS. You know, you get some extra bits for it. You and your friends can pilot, as a unit, this great big weird, kind of like mechanical monstrosity. Again, I think things like that are kind of cool, and I also find it kind of disappointing that it's a style of play and a set of mechanics that a game I genuinely hope comes out and lives up to expectations. Star Citizen. I've mentioned it before. I don't think it's any secret that I would like it to succeed. They still haven't figured this out. You don't want to be in front of it when it does that. It has a super drill, basically. There we go. We've done it. But yeah, you know, when you see docking, even though it's a canned animation being done by Lost Planet 2 and this... Yeah, I imagine. One of my boys lost a VS. They're not very good at this. Anyway, and like Lost Planet 2 can figure it out. I just don't... Well, we want it to be done in game in real time without a canned animation. Why, though? Because the canned animation is what helps us practically get these systems online without extra fiddling. And they're finding that canned animations and shit like that are necessary. There's now an auto land, which is effectively, you know, the computer just sets your ship down for you. It's functionally no different than pressing a landing sequence and having the game just do its thing. I don't understand the chicken with the head cut off approach to development that they seem to be under.
But I think it'll go through.
The signal's weak. Oh, excuse me, I'm gonna take a drink.
Data transmission. I'll have to give you the sitrep now, sir. Once we reach the surface, we'll be able to target with the cannon there. We were also able to procure some re-entry capable VS.
Okay, and there we go, and we should be hearing me once again. Now that we've hotkeyed our mute.
I'm working on my end to open up those locks.
Sir, but how?
Just making sure. Oh, sir, but how? Joe's got some connections in Nevik. He knows a guy who knows a guy.
Hold your fire, men. You can trust.
Pi, we can trust them, though. It's fine. Joe said he had connections.
We can only hold the locks open so long. You need to get back down to the surface, now.
Well, our hands don't quite work.
What about you? We'll handle things here.
That doesn't answer my question. Goodbye.
We'll provide support while you target with the cannon from down there.
Thank you. All of you. I have one more favor to ask you.
What is it?
What is it?
Send a message through Neos to everyone on EDM-3.
I'll see what I can do.
Okay. Why is your respirator so fucking weird shaped? That'd really restrict your head movement, wouldn't it?
The cannon's cooling phase is almost complete. You'll probably enter the second phase of irradiation as you enter the atmosphere. Set it to activate as soon as you touch down.
There's like a big old fucking ring here. I guess that's the orbital elevator that we were at the last time.
First of all, good to go, sir.
All right, men. We're going home.
Yes, sir.
We're going home. I don't know, I'd probably want to move off this planet.
Directly in the path of your re-entry route. You're going to have to make your way through it if you want to get back.
Now it's another on-rails shooter. So it's not Zone of the Enders, it's also not quite Star Fox, because it still definitely plays like Lost Planet 2. There's less mechanics to learn, but they do some fucking bonkers shit with the hardball, don't they?
Calling all snow pirates on EDM-3. I have a warning of utmost urgency. The military forces you know as Nevik are planning something that will be catastrophic for all who dwell on the planet. I know this. Because
We're in them. We're doing something with them again. And now we're shooting some mines on our way down because it's mined. I guess Nevik mined the atmosphere. I don't know fucking why.
This will unleash massive amounts of thermal energy. Nevik will take all this thermal energy and then abandon the planet.
Like, is the fucking planet blockaded? Under whose authority? Nevik still has to answer to fucking Earth's government. Like, what is this? But here we are.
Thermal energy will set off a reaction that will freeze this planet to its very core and kill everyone and everything living here.
There we go. We finally found out what they're up to.
You assume that
Joe told us.
you had could be lost at any time, and if that happened, you would just start over somewhere else. But there is nowhere else this time. Our place is here, on this planet. Our ancestors built a place for themselves here thanks to their indomitable spirit, the strength of their resolve.
Okay.
Now it is time to tap into that same resolve to protect what they struggle to build. To all the snow pirates on EDM-3, if you can hear my voice, then I beseech you to put aside your differences and stand with me as one. Let us show Nevik what happens when they threaten our home.
Like, that's all fine and good, Joe, but we really fucking swung that at the 11th hour, didn't we, bud? This game has been about nothing so far, and now he wants to invoke our pioneer spirit and how wonderful it is to be on EDN3 and surviving the elements like this. Joe, we've been murdering each other for orange sauce the whole time, bud. We're not a unified fucking force here. These are shitheads of the highest order that prowl the wastes of a bug planet. But yeah, alright, we're gonna band together because Nevik is gonna fuck us all up, and frankly, I don't know that anyone on Earth feels particularly bad about it. We all seem to be criminals. Anyway, we crashed our hardball.
Mobility functions inoperable. Touchdown point off target.
Northwest plus 20. Well,
Temperature is -115.
minus 115. Finally, I'm dressed for the weather, everybody.
Damn over G's gonna turn this planet into an ice cube. Open up.
Ready to open hatch. Unlocking outer shell.
It's my time to shine. You're all gonna die in the snow. I'm gonna be the only one that's left.
Sound off and form up on me.
Lancelot, copy that.
Tristan here. I'll be there soon. Percival, standing by.
Okay, great. They didn't even give me a knight name. I just got fucking call sign Camelot.
We're gonna need him.
They're Tristan, Lancelot, and Percival. I'm like, Galahad? Fuck, like, come on now. Oh, yes, please. If having fun is a crime, then I'm innocent. Yeah, I guess. Here we go.
Now regroup with the rest of your team. I'll be sending you rendezvous coordinates.
We gotta fight off Acrid. We want our map. We know what to do here. None of these other motherfuckers have any idea what to do here. This is where we belong. Yeah. Yeah. Just bits and bobs in the snow. Poor visibility. That happening. This should have been the whole game. This should have been the whole series. Just this, but escalating. Adequate fighting. You ain't seen nothing yet. Just look at how good that looks even with this fucking bullshit game. You see these shapes in the snow. You know it's no good for you. You're just gonna have to kind of like keep a pretty solid map of where it is you have been and where you're going in your head, because otherwise you're gonna get lost, and something from somewhere that you can't really see all that good is gonna tag you hard. But no, we had to do Vietnam and then also space. Oh, hey dude. You fucking made up a new call sign for yourself. It's Wild Rhythm, it's not fucking Percival. It's a liar and an asshole. That's where we're going. I gotta grab stuff first. These are things I need. I need these things. They were left in the snow for me. Oh, I see. There's a few very large bugs here. And yeah, with the draw distance being set quite that low, and you know, the visual effects being what they are here, these become effective creature designs. You're not able to read them extremely well. You get vague notions of what they might be and where they might be going. And they're not quite so goofy then. Like that one, I don't know if his arm is still attached. Doesn't look like it is. May have gotten the creature altogether? Yeah. That's got it. Okay, and then we can finish him off. Doing things like this forces you to build a sort of memory of what the thing is by glimpsing it in pieces. And that's also really effective for, you know, just building any kind of tension in a setting. You think back to the original Alien, you never really saw it all the way until like the very end. And then when you did, you had more or less built that in your brain.
Do whatever it takes to suppress them.
It's off the charts. Alright. As we wait for signal from Neos. We are stuck here. In the poop. Where, again, I think we belong. Hey. Oh, that's a bomb. We don't want to touch the bomb. Mid-grapple. My boy Kevin here has picked up a shield. I'm not sure what it is that he thinks it's gonna do. And we have this option. Undoubtedly here for de-icing things. We're gonna just kind of repurpose it. We're gonna upcycle it. Again, we're reappropriating industrial equipment to cut apart monstrosities. On some foreign and exotic location far away in space. By now we're pretty good at that. It's just big bugs instead of... That was quite the reach. Didn't know he could kind of fucking sweep around like that. Now I do. Tagged by a roly one from the mists. That's alright. We'll go back out there. Because I do want my stuff. sirs. I want my stuff. It actually may be gone. I may never fucking find that shit again. We'll see. We'll see. Oh, no, I might be on the right track. I may have sniffed it out. We'll see. Nah, that shit basically don't exist no more. Couldn't get the weak point in time. Oh, come on now. There we go. We, of course, don't want to stay in that position. It's a bad position. We'll head back over here. We'll power this up. And we'll do our thing.
The number of Akrid is decreasing. Whatever you're doing, keep it up.
It's working. We're getting there. That does eat into our thermal energy, which, you know, is potentially an issue, seeing as that's also what's keeping us alive.
I'm only picking up a few Akrid readings. Now's the time to move.
Well, they say now's the time to move, but as we can see from our map there, we're still kind of in a shit position, which we're going to have to remedy before attempting to make a break for it. That may be my shit over there.
You're in proximity of the overG field. Until we determine the entry point, proceed along the route we've calculated. Transmitting the information now. Check your radar.
It is. That's my stuff. Excellent. We found it eventually. I am going to need that. I am going to need this. We are going to need to deal with these spawn pods. Believe that's got that one. Good deal, good deal. We're making some progress. I'm seeing less big red round dots there. This is the part that I get to in this game where I'd mentioned it before. I would have liked the entire game to be this. To be just scratching out some kind of something on EDN3, you know, without the use of, like, all of the kind of benefits that Nevic's presence would naturally bring. You know, with Nevic there's someone to contend with the Akrid, and there's someone to provide transport on and off world and get you things from you know, Earth or wherever it is that's nearest. If you're just kind of here in the wake of this massive corporation and all of its massive resources, pulling out and being like, fine, fuck you, have it, then we have a setting that's ripe for conflict all on its own. Resources are now going to be extraordinarily and frighteningly finite. Yeah, we found like a river of thermal energy there. I don't know that I'd seen that part of the map before. Anyway, things that were commonplace, like VSs and stuff, become extremely valuable. And making do with what's been left over also becomes a thing, so you can expand how it is VSs work. What it is that they can and can't do as people tinker and fuck around with parts and do this, that, and the other thing. We remember this. Remember worms? Yeah, worms. It's worms again.
It'll dog you all the way to the entry point.
Yeah, thanks. But I have the remedy for this. You knew what it would be. It's the end of the game. They're gonna fucking put their poster boy robot suit all over the place. Not that I'm complaining. The hardball, I like the your average hardball. Its dumb fucking face is fun. There we are. And I like its mobility. You kind of do the skate around thing, reorient. Make short work of the worms this time. Not like that snowmobile, which ate it hard. There's another one of these here, which I want. Nice. Dug up 2 of them. But in the hardball, we can absolutely avoid their charge and not just get eaten. Which is good, because, you know, again, we are not Wayne. Looks like we got one of them. Looks like this worm has decided that what it needs to do is just kind of bomb us. There we go. Oh, we got something that just packs a little bit more of a punch. The double chain guns is perfectly workable. It's an old standby, but I like to have something that I can jab with, and then something that I can really, like, stick them with. There it is. And we're done. Just like that. 2 worms. These weren't as hairy as the other ones. Alright. Let's clear up our reception. This storm is really playing havoc with my signal.
Catchy's down. Good job. We've calculated the point of entry. That's where you want to go.
Alright, we gotta go to the point of entry. It's this. Of note, they will not let me keep the hardball for this. I wish they would have. You know, I'm right here. Just walking right in. And they make a big deal about breaking this barrier when I'm pretty sure with this thing I could just go over it.
You all heard the old man's reasons for wanting to take down the Over-G.
Here we go.
Interest to throw our lot in with them. Round up all our people and get them ready for action ASAP.
Our people are getting ready for action. We remember these guys. They were there at the beginning. They went to Jungle Vietnam.
We have reports of snow pirates gathering in response to your call, sir.
Well, who wouldn't?
Our recon teams also report that the Overland battleship stolen from Nevik is currently on its...
See, there they are.
Our radar reports confirm this.
Incoming message from Neo, sir.
They're not going to help.
Put it through. Everything all right up there?
Outer layer detachment is almost complete. We tried our best. Some of the sections are going to impact the surface.
I see. Very well. You've done what you can. You should make your escape now.
The cannon is still functional. We'd like to stay here a little longer and see what else we can do.
Understood. But I don't expect you to die up there.
Thank you for your concern.
Foreshadowing.
But we're not done here yet.
The Yuri clones have ideas.
Any update on the team that landed in the snowfield?
They'll make contact with the Over-G before us.
your situation?
We've taken a position at the Over-G, but there's a barrier preventing us from moving in.
A barrier? What kind?
An ice one. It's cold.
But it would take a lot of firepower to penetrate.
You're gonna need something big.
Who is this? Identify yourself.
You want to take down that barrier? We got what you're looking for.
We appreciate the help.
And it's the railway gun.
For doing this, that have nothing to do with helping you. Once that barrier is down, you're on your own.
As you wish.
I don't know why it is that they wouldn't throw in their lot with them. I mean, you know, there's fucking the big orb wiped out their home. That's reason enough, you know. There's revenge. Enemy of my enemy and all that. There we go. I had to press Q. Got him. Question from chat. What games do I generally not enjoy? I generally don't enjoy just about anything turn-based. I generally don't enjoy most adventure games, quote, quote, because, you know, Moon Logic fucking irritates me. What else? Yeah, I generally don't enjoy visual novels because that's not a game. If you don't need me here to do something, then you don't need me here. You know? Just tell the story and fuck off. It's telling me that I need to purchase this software and click next every now and again is insanity. She likes visual novels, the witch does. I think, as I've said before, I have real issues with a number of systems that are present in a lot of RPGs, too. Okay, they're just gonna crash it. There we go. Anything that takes control out of my hands and says, no, the computer will calculate that for you, I don't appreciate. And I played a lot of RPGs, JRPGs, fucking Western RPGs, as a kid and then as a young adult, and you know, if a story is compelling, I can look past that. Ass. It finally happened. I did it. Let's just bask in that a second. Ah, that's a tradition. Keeping it alive, keeping it alive. Anyway, you know, like, Final Fantasy Tactics is a great game. It is turn-based. It is all stat modifiers. You know, that's what it is. But it's also writing that is good and not just good for a game. You know what I mean? There's a narrative there that's got shit going on.
Everything you see is part of the Over-G acreage. You should be able to get a visual.
And that more than makes up for, you know, not really being allowed to get in there and get my fingers dirty with, you know, combat and mechanics. In a lot of ways, these are, you know, a storytelling medium ought to tell a story. And if you're not using the medium to tell a story, that's fine, but you're going to have to give me something else. A lot of times games don't do that. They say, well, but I find turn-based JRPG combat satisfying, so why are you telling me that it's slow and bad? Enjoy it if you want to. I don't. I think it is slow and bad and brainless and tedious. I'm sure more things will come to my mind as I continue here. I'm still mulling the question over. Oh good, yes, please do get that clipped. That is a proud, age-old tradition. You're playing a game, you get to enter initials of any kind, you do write ass. You do, you have to. It's the law. And that time, that's what we're calling a natural ass. We got those rankings all on our own without intending to. Just pure, free-range, homegrown ass. No additives. Organic ass, yes. Wild ass. Alright. And even here, you know, we got goop all over the place. We got throbbing goop. It is Capcom, after all. We've had our laboratory, now we got goop. Later on we'll have eyeballs. You know how they like them some eyeballs. God-given ass. Well, I'd say yes, God-given, but I don't think God has anything to do with what I'm doing. I would hope God would have more important things to do. You know, like decide who wins the football games. Hop. Oh no, more goop. But yeah, so the look of this place, like a fucking spot that's been kind of just mostly consumed by the Acrid, I found kind of disappointing. I wanted to keep with their more alien nature, and I don't see the reason for it to just be like pulsating goop. That doesn't, like, what is it pulsating for? What is this? And why did we do it this way? It's a problem with Capcom designs after a certain point. Like Resident Evil 7, I think I've mentioned this briefly in previous videos. They have some really effective creature design, but it's all in the earlier parts of the game. And I'm not even talking about the molded. The molded are nothing. But Jack and Marguerite are really, really good. And then everything becomes meat monsters and globs and eyeballs, and the game ends. It's the biggest problem with Resident Evil 7 is all the Resident Evil. Some of the series tropes, I think, are they're fine to look back on. I don't know that we need to keep doing that, you know? Oh, someone dropped their stuff. Wasn't me. Alright, ammo's been added. This is all thermal energy, by the way, so in this stage you're never really out. You can just stand in it. And this is another spot where you can take multiple paths. It's an all roads lead to Rome sort of situation, so it doesn't really matter where it is you enter and exit, you just get slightly different set pieces.
You'll have to clear a path to the core.
Yeah, I'm working on it. I'm working on it. There's also not any VSs that I've been able to find that would make this easier. I think it's because it's such a fucking weird kind of geometry to move through. Oh, do we have more? Yes, please. Oh, there's the eyeball. Okay, well, we don't. She made some movements like we did. We don't. Oh, okay. She's just flailing in general. We got a bug head that just kind of popped up out of nowhere. Oh yeah, there's an eyeball, and it does that, and, you know, we've all kind of seen these Capcom shapes at this point. It's what they do when they think monsters. You know, we've reduced the Acrid to injured but stable. Which, you know, that's cool. Yeah. Got him. No? It's got a huge explosion radius. Didn't actually fucking end up killing that thing. What is the world coming to? Man, that one's too high to catch the top of that sword swing. Ain't that the way. Plenty of VS weapons, but yeah, no VSs that I've been able to find. There may be some somewhere in some certain spots, but like I've never stumbled across them. Then again, the weapons might just be there because like some people like using the VS weapons on foot. Something in there. We'll go looking. Because why not? Oh, hey. There, now it's broken. I know, Pi. But yeah, it's as far as ruined cityscapes go, I don't know that this one's one of my favorites. Nope, it's just a laser thing. Okay. It's certainly not the worst, but I don't get it. It doesn't seem to fit in with the rest of, like, the art direction in this game. Or in fact, with the art direction behind the Acrid in general, like, that does. That makes sense. But it's not coils of that thing, it's just goop. And we haven't really seen them be or do goop, you know? I may as well just run this dry on this encounter. Yeah. Yeah. Why spend ammunition that I'm actually going to just, like, carry with me? This I'm not going to take long. It exploded. You just gotta shoot it with bullets until it bursts. So that everyone can go, ew, that was nasty. But is it any grosser than anything else we've seen? Also, for being as grubby as they are, if this is where the Waysiders' hometown was, that's quite the settlement. I'm starting to think maybe they're hipsters. Maybe they've appropriated the dress of the down and out. What are we shooting at? Oh. We're shooting at that. That makes sense. Alright. Sure, fine. We remember the wasp-like enemies. Yeah, it kind of does, doesn't it? The comment on it looking like early Ouroboros mashed together with Crisis City. Yeah, yeah. where it's just kind of like this pulsing mass of black shit and not much else as far as like defining characteristics. The Ouroboros fucking quote virus again. It's clearly not a virus. That's a parasite. I'm looking at it, but whatever. Was also not something that I particularly cared for. I don't know that we needed any more Resident Evils along the main storyline past, like... I think 3 is the last time we should have heard from Umbrella in an official capacity, or like even any elements of Umbrella. 4 is fine because it's a new thing. 5, again, Capcom didn't mean it to be racist. I think they're just clueless. But 5 having us showdown with Wesker again was like, fucking why? Does anyone care about this dude anymore? And I know the answer to that is probably yes, and someone found like great satisfaction in fighting Wesker as Chris Redfield and really, really just punching that boulder into lava, I guess. But like I didn't know why anyone would do business with Wesker at this point, or why anyone would want anything that anyone in that business was selling. Like it never ends in any way but a catastrophe. There's not like a successful deployment of bioorganic weapons. So it just, I don't know. They've gooped me. I've been slimed. You know, it's one of those things where if your villain is going to be an evil corporation, they have to actually be offering something. Not just like, well, but we have this. It's an eyeball tank. Do you like that? You want to give me trillions of dollars, military? No, they don't, because this is a tank of fucking eyeballs. And promising to grow more of them and being like you could use them for soldier stuff is dumb. You gotta speak up. The witch is muttering again. She does that sometimes. So on 5 being mostly worth it for the mercenaries, Wesker being blind in the dark, that sort of thing. Yeah, it's on the long list of fucking sins that the narrative team commits with that game. Wesker being blind in the dark is like fucking why? How? What? What's with the sunglasses then? That doesn't make sense. How it is that you rig a mind control machine onto someone by putting it on their sternum? What are you talking about? That anyone, again, would trust anyone in this business or profession is fucking bonkers. Who keeps financing this? Why do they keep financing this? There's never been a successful deployment. It costs too much, and it's a weapon you can't, like, tell to stop. As far as it being worth it for mercenaries, I don't know, you'd have to find the gameplay compelling for it to be worth it for mercenaries, and I don't. It's serviceable, but there's nothing interesting about it as far as I'm concerned. You know, go for the legs, do the finisher. There you go, you've saved ammo. And that's regardless of the character you play. Some of them have better melee capability than others, but mostly it doesn't matter. We got blown up by a fireball belch. But that's okay, 'cause we're over it. We got better. Oh, from both sides? Nice. Okay, well. This is gonna take a moment then. Because if we're just getting it from both sides, sometimes on spawn like that, then yeah. Yeah. This is just gonna be, something of a painful experience. A one-shot kill on spawn. Fucking incredible. Oh, Capcom, you dumb sons of bitches. There we go. Alright. That's one. Oh, the other one just kind of quit, huh? Yeah, it looks like it just gave up. Alright. Fun death loop there, boys. Well, they were aiming to do it again. It did not work out. Anyway, we'll go ahead and just pick up our stuff. Slurp up this stuff. Apparently wasn't at the right angle for that one. Okay. I believe we are now clear? No, that's what. Gotcha. I was wondering why it didn't tell me that the acrid production was near zero again. It's because we hadn't done this yet. There's sphincters on the wall that are very high up and aren't necessarily producing things. There we go. There it is. We're getting there. We're getting there. We're getting good boy points for it. The music is very dramatic all of a sudden. There. We've put it in critical condition. And into this hole we go. After all this time, still crawling in holes. Hole boys for life. I believe we've made it.
Launch all GPS units into the core. The satellite will pick up their signals and use them to target the laser blast.
Okay. I'm doing it. I'm getting up there. We're just gonna walk up this wiggling mass. And into this. Well, looks like the NPCs have decided to spawn as like a female model. Sometimes they do, sometimes they don't. And don't let it fool you, it's just eyeballs again. They got fucking wiped out there, huh? And what I have to do is cause one of these to kind of calcify enough to flop over so I can put the GPS beacon on it. And that'll trigger the end of the game. But, you know. There we are. Okay, stop shooting at it for a second. There. And now I have to get the fuck away from it. Excellent.
5, 4, 3, 2, 1, fire.
They couldn't have just, like, fucking talked him into it. Like, okay, you see my position, then whip out a rangefinder and measure it and be like, adjust for blah blah blah. And then, okay, yeah, fucking hit it.
All supercore activity has ceased.
Even one of the desert guys that attacked us in the thing is here, but not the treasure barrachos. This is all mine now. Of course, because they want you to gather these things and spin that wheel so that maybe you'll unlock things that really could have helped you now that you have already completed all the content. Ah, goddamn the barrier.
Shoot it! Destroy the barrier!
Even some carpetbaggers are here. So they tell us that we have to do this. We don't really. It'll crash all the same. See? Here comes the whole fucking space station. You'd think that that's it. We're done, right? We're fucking dead. There's no way we live through this. But you're thinking too hard. You're doing that thing I do, where you think too hard and you take the fiction being presented as like an earnest expression, like they meant to say and do these things, and that they cared what it looked like. Really, this just is more something to do while we're waiting for the game to complete. Like, yeah, right here, we're fucked. There's no way. Get out of here, they say. I'm at ground zero, man. We're not... There's nowhere to go. You're just gonna have to fucking kill us all. It's fine. So in case you missed it, and you would be forgiven for missing it, Nevik's plan here was to let this thing juice all the fucking thermal energy out of the world and then kill it, suck that up. That would destabilize the environment and render this place uninhabitable, and bounce. That's their plan this time. So yeah, there goes the treasure barrachos. They decided to fuck off.
We need to go now.
What's that screaming?
Comment that it doesn't look like the same game anymore. No, it doesn't, does it? They really kind of veered off in a direction, didn't they? It doesn't play like the same game either. In some ways that's good. Wayne was kind of clunky. We're much more nimble now. And our guns are more responsive and more varied. Same with the VSs. They're all a lot more nimble, a lot more responsive, and much more varied. But there's I don't know. Some of the things that they changed, I would have rather they not changed. A C, but I did so well. I think it was the death loop. Oh well. A C is roughly what I'd give this game to, so it's fair that it should give me one in return. Ah, the ending. I'll let Joe take it for just a moment.
Sir, are you all right?
I'm fine.
Let's get you up.
Why is it so dark?
It's night out, sir.
Already?
There we go. I had to mute myself to take a drink, but the witch has related to me that we ain't going nowhere and we can't be stopped now. We're bad boys for life. That would have been a nice ending for this, if it was just bad boys, like 75. Bad boys in space.
The thermal energy's not working.
Commander, the sun's coming up.
What is this?
Anyway, the thermal energy is now all over the place. Energy is free and ambient. You know, like it is everywhere the fuck else in the universe. Hydrogen is extremely abundant. We could have done this a long time ago. There he goes, nod and walk away. Is the thermal energy poisonous to drink? Because that's all of our drinking water too. Got him. Planted Neos right in him.
Can't believe it. Look at it all. What happened?
Come to think of it, this is how we killed Big Meat too.
At least that's what I'd like to believe.
We just kind of hit it with a rock from space to finish it off.
We're back online. Looks like the thermal energy still works.
Oh, we can pull water out of the air to a certain extent, but that usually, like a dehumidifier takes a whole lot of power. I don't know that that would be terribly efficient, and I don't know that thermal energy, with it being ambient like this now, wouldn't simply survive like the vaporizing and fucking condensing process. Like, I don't know if it's a radiation or a substance or both.
What happened? I snatched you out of the sky before you hit the ground. You're lucky
What?
I had quick reflexes.
You didn't, though.
Thanks.
I snatched you out of the sky before you hit the ground. So I snapped my neck and died. Or you missed and I died. Or I was just incinerated by the heat produced from that satellite impacting that enormous thing and died.
For us.
Oh, here we go.
But the planet has survived. And will continue to do so. With or without us. This place. Sometimes it welcomes you like the warm bed of a lover. Sometimes it feels like a cold knife at your throat. For those who make this place their home, that is how it will always be.
Okay. I know Pi, but it's a new kind of acrid we haven't seen before. Yeah, it's kind of like a fish. I don't think that would work aerodynamically, but okay. Bye. It also seems to not be as much of a dickhead as the other ones. It didn't try to, like, crash its face into us and kill us. Yeah, it did get very close to the helicopter, didn't it? Anyway, that's Lost Planet 2. At least the campaign mode. We know there's a multiplayer mode. Keiji Inafune. For those of you who don't know, that's the Mega Man guy. Alright, we're saving. Snow Pirate Elite's career is now level 40. We've unlocked a new character part. Well, I mean, let's go see what that is. And... Alright, so this is our hood now. Sea Dog is our new thing, so we can put on a dive suit. Boy, our temp has really gone through some changes, hasn't he? Not really, he just kind of put on a new hat. Yay, it's fucking over. Yeah, I wish that this had gone better. And by this, I mean this series. We're not quite done with it yet. Of course, the days of being Wayne are long since over. And the next one in this series will have That's not a very good backpack either, is it? More things to chew on narratively. This is kind of a blank and mostly flavorless experience from the storytelling perspective. Mechanically, it's interesting in that you can mix and match a whole lot of things and kind of determine mostly, oh my god, how it is that you play. This mechanic is the worst part of it. Use your credits to win new weapons, abilities, and more. And that's the only way you can get them. But dressing up a dude with your friends and basically playing army men versus bugs is fine, I guess. But that is the end of our time with Lost Planet 2, and we're going to have to go back and check in on our friend Isaac, who had some brain problems. You know, that's what we're going to be doing next. We're going to send you here. We're going to kill the sound. And, yes, you did see a Servbot head. The Servbot head is an option. The problem is, it's such a good option that it becomes the only one, you know? The Servbot head is unbalanced that way. And yeah. That's Lost Planet 2. So, you know, we're now the second thing in for one of our series that we're taking a look at, and like a member of chat here, KTE, remarked, it doesn't seem like the same game anymore. Keep that in mind going forward. Just really hold that close and precious. Alright, well, for now I'll leave you to wander alone. See ya.